Hey, what's up, everyone? Kino here, back with another Dune Prophecy reaction. I just watched the second episode, Two Wolves. Um, this is a cool one, I think. It's what I talked about last episode, which was, are they going to flesh out the characters? Am I going to care about the characters as much as I care about like the larger themes and interesting like ideas that the series gets at? That was my fear going into the series. And what was even more concerning was I learned that there's only going to be 6 episodes of this show, which is not a lot of time to develop out a lot of characters like they have. And I will say though, at least for the rivalry they're setting up between God, I can't remember his name. Desmond Hart, Ragnar Lothbrok, and the Mother Superior, Valia. It's an interesting one. It's a more like nuanced rivalry, I'd say, than like Paul versus Fade Harkonnen in the Dune movies. It's like they were like the Harkonnens were such like cartoonish villains that I was like, this is not a rivalry that I'm like, ooh, both these players are interesting. Um, at least for this episode, I like that like okay, there's some truths and lies on both sides here, which I thought was a more interesting rivalry than what we saw in the movie. So, you know, Valia's plan is, from what I can discern so far, they want to put a sister on the throne, and basically the sisterhood will control the whole universe. It's a it's a feminist conspiracy, like people talk about, but um, and we get confirmation that the sisters are like weakening the throne and manipulating people as much as they can and using people too. It's a cool little detail in this episode that like we learned that that guy Kieran Atreides, who not really a developed character. I don't know if he's gonna be like an actual like real developed character. He's a hot guy who has the name Atreides, so you're like, oh, he's a good guy because the movie. But um, what his motivation is. It's revealed that he's part of this rebellion that we only learn about this episode. I guess it hinted at the last one, but um, we learned that he's part of this rebellion. They're trying to take out the House Carino, who are the emperor. And why he's a part of that, I don't know. He gives this like good guy speech where it's like the Carinos are the royal houses are hoarding spice and they're depriving the people of it, and it's like, is it actually what he believes, or is there something deeper? If that's actually all it is, again, he's kind of like a cartoonishly good character, sort of like how the movie made Duke Leto. He's just like a good guy, whereas I've heard some criticisms that basically were like they kind of simplified him in the book. He's more of like a political schemer and stuff like that, but in a movie they just wanted to make him a good guy. I don't know if they're going to go down that route with this guy here, or if there's actually going to be some more interesting character motivations and nuances there. But anyway, my larger point was that it was kind of cool that like, oh, we're like, oh, there's a rebellion here that he's a part of, and then it's revealed that one of the women in there is actually a sister, a Bene Gesserit. Um, so it's like they have like their tendrils everywhere, even in like the shadows, like the lower caste, and they're using the rebellion to weaken the throne in order to push their agenda, but they're also like, okay, now it's time to sacrifice the rebels that we've acquired here, because we need to improve our relation with the throne. And I like that the girl who is like the rebel, like the infiltrator, I like that she wasn't like, this is wrong, we can't betray our allies like this. Maybe they'll do something like that next episode, who knows, but I like that she was like, okay, yeah, it's time to cut him, like I'm down with the plan. I like how kind of ruthless the sisterhood is. It fits the setting where it's like there's really not good guys in the setting. It's all different shades of like manipulation and treachery and stuff like that. And I like how most of the sisterhood is like pretty, like ruthless and cutthroat, which is exactly the kind of culture that Valia is trying to cultivate in them. We have the sister, her legitimate sister, who kind of has this adopted daughter who she cares about, doesn't want to see her hurt, and that kind of goes against what Valia wants to do. But she's the only one really like that. Um, some of the acolytes were like, kind of not so sure about this life or not, but regardless, I just thought it was cool that like, okay, we're gonna be ruthless here. We're gonna betray people. We're not gonna be like, the series is not trying to portray the sisterhood as like this is a righteous cause, which I talked about that in some of my other things, particularly the Penguin, where it's like they want to make one side the good side, and at least from these first two episodes, I appreciate that they haven't gone down that route. The sisterhood is portrayed as very flawed, as is everyone in this setting, and I think that makes it more interesting. Um, it looked like in the preview for the next episode, they're going to do flashbacks to young Valia and kind of see how she kind of created this organization here. I mean, she didn't create the sisterhood, but like she's the one been pushing this conspiracy they want to do. So I think we'll learn more about her. I think we'll learn more about Desmond Hart eventually, and what his whole deal is, because he's an interesting villain. He's like cool. He can resist her mind control thing she does. I don't know how that works. I don't know how his fire powers work. I don't know his motivation. It seems like it's. I think it's going to be deeper than he just wants to serve the Emperor. He's opposed to the Bene Gesserit. That's pretty clear. And I even wonder if it's because the Bene Gesserit are going to manipulate the Fremen on Arrakis and create the prophecy of the Lisbon, whatever. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So maybe the sandworm showed him that was gonna happen, and he's like trying to fight against it. I don't know. But it's a cool villain. I like their little rivalry there. Um, the other characters, I don't feel that much. They're not that interesting. The Emperor's not that interesting. The daughter Yanez, the princess, she's really not that interesting. Um, the son of the Emperor, we get a sex scene with him, but like, what is his deal? Is he just an idiot? Does he have his own plans? Again, a lot of this stuff, I worry that there's not going to be enough time, because there's a lot of characters in the show. And I think that aside from the main few characters, we're really not going to have time to develop most of them. That's the same thing I said about the Penguin recently, which had 8 episodes to develop all of its characters, and it sort of didn't hit the mark on a lot of them. So um, we will see how this goes, but overall, an interesting show. I'm not a diehard invested into this universe, so I'm kind of approaching it casually and just being like, let's check it out. But so far, it's not really disappointed me. I've been like, okay, little a little heavy on the world building. Like, I don't feel like they do an amazing job of like introducing you to this universe if it's your first time here. Like, I don't even think they made it clear what spice does. And also the movie didn't quite do that either, but we get hints that like, oh, whoever controls the spice controls the universe, but like, why? Are we going to meet the Spacer Guild? Are we going to meet any of the other? Are we going to meet Fremen? Are we going to meet any of these other organizations? I don't know. We'll see, but I will keep watching and report back to you. So thanks for listening to this, and stay tuned for the next one coming next week.